I can't keep fighting Phil on this. Our businesses are all entwined. You gotta pick your battles. You want your no-show jobs, Vito's gotta go. It's the right move, T. All those weeks in the hospital, surgeries, constant pain, for what? Come out here and get shadowed with something like this? Nah, I'm sorry. If Vito wanted to pursue that lifestyle, he should have done so quietly. He was, wasn't he? Anyone in particular you want to give us to? Well, Carlo had the biggest problem with it. Let him handle it. It's Vito's own fault. Why couldn't he stay wherever the he was? Don't beat yourself up about this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Steve Malzberg Show. And we start the show on a very, very sad note. The death of James Gandolfini. I was at my son's baseball game last night, and a CNN alert crossed my BlackBerry. And I mean, to say I did a double take is an understatement. And everyone, I started telling all the parents, and they would say, "Get out of here! How could that be?" And James Gandolfini, and that clip there, you know, just one sample of a million samples we could play, and I picked that because they're talking about whacking Vito Spatafori, the character in The Sopranos, and Vito was played by my good friend who I attended school with all the way through Lafayette High School, Joseph Gannascoli, who is kind enough to join us right now during this difficult time. Joe, how are you, sir?
Hi, Steve.
I got to tell you, I mean, tell me how you found out and what you thought, what your reaction was.
You know, Steve, we go way back, and you were there, you know, pretty much through the chronicling the most of the Sopranos when I was on it. Someone had called me and asked me if it was true, and I said, I mean, I don't know anything about it. Googled it while I was on the phone with them. I said, I don't see anything. And they said, well, we haven't gotten confirmed yet, but they asked the managers or the agents of Jimmy, and they said no comment. They said, which is not a good sign. And so I reached out to someone, and then they confirmed it. And I was, of course, like the rest of the world, shocked and saddened and, you know, scared a little bit, you know, because he's younger than me. And, you know, he was a big guy, and probably didn't smoke as much as I did, but I'm hoping it's a wake-up call. But I just kept thinking about, you know, the kids and his new daughter, who's 8 months old. And,
right, Michael's 13, and he just has an 8-month-old daughter as well.
Right.
And Michael was with him. I mean, I could ask you about the acting. I could ask you about what impact The Sopranos had, but tell us about the man. I mean, tell us something we don't know from afar.
Well, yeah, that's what I've been sort of, you know, yesterday I went to bed, and I didn't want to, you know, do any of this stuff because. And I said, you know, everybody knows about his acting. Everybody knows, you know, put HBO on the map, but people should know that he was just a humble, down-to-earth, regular guy. And a couple instances come to mind. You know, he came to my wedding with his son, like the rest of the cast, but he spoke, which he's a very shy guy, didn't give a lot of interviews, spoke in front of everyone, said beautiful words to me and my wife. He came to my restaurant in Bay Ridge when he knew that the rest of the cast members were coming and meeting fans, and he wanted to do it. And I was like, really? You know, I said, Jim, you don't really have to. He said, no, it'd be fun, I want to. And he came when he was sick as a dog, pouring rain, and it was cold, and he stayed. There was a line down the block, and he stayed till he met everyone and took a picture with everyone. And then when my character changed and we were doing the read-through, he took me outside and he said, look, you know, we can go talk to David. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, you're from Brooklyn. You know, you know a lot of guys. You know a lot of people.
You mean when the character went gay, turned gay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
We could talk to him, and we don't have to do this. I said, well, Jim, I sort of asked for it, you know what I mean? So I'll trust them in that they know what they're doing, and I'll go ahead and do it. So, you know, I wasn't close friends whenever he had never really turned his back on me. He was and leave off in the best way with some of the cast. And he was a stand-up guy, a humble guy, down-to-earth guy, very approachable, tremendous talent. And he, you know, found happiness with he was newly married and had a beautiful daughter and a son. And It's going to be hard for them.
Tell me what you said. He didn't leave off best with some of the cast. In what way?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I
didn't.
All right. Well, Joe, we have some pictures here. The first one, put up 16. We just showed it. Here's you at the. He's at your wedding there. I guess you can't see it, but he's at the table at the wedding. And
right. It was a group shot that we all took, and it was great. I had that hanging in my my dining room. That's one of my cherished possessions, you know.
And then there's the one where you and him, I think that you tweeted out in your tribute to him. Where was that taken?
That was taken at Soup as Art restaurant I had that was in Bay Ridge.
Yeah, I remember it well on 4th Avenue?
3rd Avenue.
3rd Avenue. What am I saying? Yeah, 3rd Avenue. Yeah. And then there's the one with him at the table with his son. I guess this would be 18. Now, where was, is that at the wedding also? No.
Yeah. It was with his son, yeah.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that's a great story that he pulled you aside like that. You talk about, was he a guy who, from what you knew of him, took care of himself? I mean, did he care about his weight? Did he know his cholesterol? I mean, it's a stupid question, but it's pertinent. I mean, is he somebody who you think took care of himself or didn't bother with those things?
Well, I don't really know that. I mean, you know, we all had our demons. I battle them, and.
No, I'm not asking him to put negative on him. I'm just curious.
I know. But he was a big guy, and you know, he liked running gag on the show that he was always eating, and you know, I mean, it was to me, he wasn't really that in bad shape. You know, he's 6'3", I think. So whether he was at the doctor's regularly, I really can't say. You know, you see guys that go on, and.
Have you talked to any of the other? We're talking to Joseph Gannascoli, who played Vito Spatafori on the Sopranos with James Gandolfini, of course. Have you talked to any of the other cast members?
No. I mean, I'll see them soon enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, once I got confirmation, there was really nothing to say.
You know what strikes me? Steve Sciarippa. I communicated with him. He just can't do it. He left the Yankee game when he heard this yesterday. And one of the other characters, I think, was on with Greta yesterday, and he had to end the interview. He said, I can't do this anymore. And I think that speaks, and your tone, your voice, your emotion, that speaks to the love that he had on among that cast. Yeah,
like I said, I wasn't the closest friends. We didn't have a lot of interaction with each other, but those things stand out to me, and his kids now, and
sure.
I mean, I wouldn't do it yesterday. I won't go to any studios or anything, but it really hasn't dawned on me yet. I mean, it will. I get, as I reflect and think about things, and I don't know.
Well, folks could tweet with Joe at Joseph Gannascoli, Gannascoli, and follow him on Facebook as well and all that. Joe, I really appreciate you sharing with us, and our deepest sympathies to you, and we'll speak to you hopefully under better circumstances soon, my friend.